These are 5 useful Mercy tips to improve your gameplay quickly and effectively. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Hunter. I am a 500-hour Mercy main, and I've been getting a lot of questions lately on how to play Mercy, so I decided to share what I've learned so far. I hope you enjoy and can get something educational out of this, no matter if you are an 1,000-hour Mercy main or just starting out. Before we get into the 5 main tips, let's start off by figuring out the type of hero Mercy is and what her abilities are. Mercy is said to be an enabler or a pocket support hero, specializing in single target healing and damage boosting. Her core gameplay revolves around her 𝐭𝐤𝐤𝐿 staff to connect with a single ally, providing either a healing stream or a damage boosting beam. Her next ability, Guardian Angel, allows her to move quickly to allies or away from dangerous situations. Guardian Angel, or often referred to as GA, can be used by hitting the shift button. However, paired with other button combinations, it can be used more effectively. If you hit GA then space, you will do a normal jump. However, if you use GA and then hit control, you will do what is called a super jump. Mercy has a lot of jumps and techs to learn, so if you would like for me to cover that in another video, let me know down below. Her second ability, being Resurrect, can bring dead teammates quickly back to the team fight with a cooldown of 30 seconds. You will also find in Mercy's kit that she has a 𝐭𝐤𝐤𝐿 blaster. This blaster comes with 25 bullets, however when in Valk you will have an infinite source. Lastly, Mercy's perks. Perks are upgrades to heroes' abilities. Slowly over time, whether you're healing or dealing damage, your level underneath your hero icon increases, allowing you to unlock said hero's minor perks at level 2 and finally unlocking the last one, the major perk, at level 3. Mercy's minor perks are Angelic Resurrection. Mercy gains 100 over health after casting Resurrect. Winged Reach. Guardian Angel's range is increased by 30%, and Mercy's major perks are Chain Boost. Secondary fire links to a second nearby ally. Flash Heal. Flash Heal can be used on 𝐭𝐤𝐤𝐿 staff's active target to restore 50 health, tripled on allies below half health. So now that we've learned more about Mercy and her kit, we can finally get into the 5 main tips that I have for you today. My first tip I have for you is to always use cover, because I have a saying that I always go by: if they can't see you, then they can't kill you. This first one is so simple, and yet I find myself always forgetting it as well, because cover is literally your best friend. There are so many spots and so many maps where you can just stand to damage and heal your team just out of the enemy's LOS, making their job so much harder. Mercy gives value when she's alive, so staying alive also needs to be your priority. I recommend even playing different Mercy parkours, because not only do they help teach you important Mercy tech, but they also help you learn the map better. If you find yourself dying a lot and you're wondering how you can fix that, I recommend looking at your positioning. This applies for all heroes, but most importantly for Mercy. Look at your positioning, where you're standing and where the rest of your team is. You shouldn't always be right beside someone in case you needed to fly away, but just make sure you're behind cover and you're with your team at all times. For number 2, watch back VODs and different point of views. This next tip can be applied to basically all heroes in all game modes, but I believe it's most important to Mercy players. When you're playing the game, the only point of view you see is your own, but after the match, when you go to watch the replays, you can see everyone's perspective. So my tip for you is to not only go back and watch where you could have done better, but to also watch the point of view of the enemy. Say the enemy Genji was persistently on you the entire game. Now while you're watching their point of view, trying to think, where could I have gone differently? How could have I survived this better? Where should I fly to next time when someone's chasing me? When you do this, not only are you learning how the enemy thinks, but you're also learning how you can survive better. Tip number 3, healbotting. I see this issue with so many new Mercy players, and we shouldn't shame them for not knowing any better, because really I don't see this being taught much, and I too struggled with this for a while. Though it hasn't been as good as other seasons, Mercy has pretty good healing, but that's not the only thing to her kit. She gets more value from her damage boost. The mindset of new or most Mercy players is to make sure everyone is constantly at full HP. So when do you have time to boost when the team is always taking on damage? Well, my tip for you is to focus more on damage and let your second support help with the healing that isn't critical. I'm not saying that you shouldn't heal, but to get the most value, you should put damage botting over heal botting any day. And now that we have self-healing in the game, this also helps. But just for an example, watch this clip. Here you can see that I'm balancing a good mix of healing and damage, but then after my duo, Reinhardt, takes down the enemy Rein, I focus on damaging him more than healing. Because of my stadium build, I am farming ults from doing so. I'm also allowing my Curie to take on most of the healing, letting her get her ult faster since he isn't in any danger at the moment, allowing him to finish up the rest before they get away. Each game is different and they're not always everybody's the same, so it's up to your decision making. But in conclusion, everyone doesn't need to be at full HP all the time. Make sure majority of the time you're damaging more than you're healing, so your team can get the best value. Number 4, rezzing. Now Mercies and seeing a res is like a moth to a flame. Every Mercy, including myself, have no self-control when it comes to rezzing in front of the enemy. Now that's fine to do and mess around in quick play, but if you want to get better and piss off the enemy with these beautiful sneaky rezzes, then here is the advice I have for you. Working on your rezzes. You want to practice this in a custom game. The code will be both on the screen and in the description. This map allows you to freely test and work on your rezzes, like your super jumps, wall, falling rezzes, you name it. Working on this a little bit each day helps you learn the mechanics and limits there is for rezzing. And whether you can see it at first or not, you are getting better at it. Don't res every soul. Now this might sound strange, but there is a reason why. Rezzing puts Mercy in danger because she is helpless in that animation and is open to any kind of attack. In some circumstances, it would be best to let your teammate walk back from spawn, rather you die rezzing and then your entire team dies with you. Also, while you're rezzing, another one of your teammates could fall, leaving you worse than where you started. Who should you res? In Overwatch, you have to make a lot of decisions, and especially when you're playing Mercy, and knowing who to res can make or break the outcome of your match. So here is my res rule of thumb for you. Number 1, make sure you always put your tank first and get them up so they can continue to make space and protect until the team is back together again. Number 2, res whoever has or almost has ult. If you're about to be in overtime, then having that ult is crucial to the team fight. Number 3, if your support falls, when it's safe to do so, get them up ASAP. Sometimes the team can just take on too much damage for you to handle alone and you need your second support there with you. Number 5, tracking ults and ability cooldowns. Now this might be the last tip, but it might as well be the most important one. Tracking ults allows you to know in advance what might happen next and help you decide whether or not you should save Valk or res to help with this next team fight. And here is an easy way to do so. Let's say there's both a Genji on our team and on the enemy team. So far from what we can see, they both have engaged in some fights and gotten some kills. Now if we look at our Genji's ult percentage, we can use that plus the information on the scoreboard to tell us that the enemy Genji should have his ult very soon. Also, if it's a few minutes into the game, you should already expect some ults to roll out. While playing Mercy, ability cooldowns is another thing you should be aware of. It is known that there are a lot of abilities that can hinder or stop Mercy's res or GA. Here are some, for example: Ana's sleep dart, Briggs shield bash, Lucio's boot, Sigma's rock, Sombra's hack, Doom's punch, Roadhog's hook, Orissa's javelin, Malgo's charge, Wrecking Ball's grapple. And a big thanks to Turtle for helping me make this. Now these are just a few. There are many other ways res could be interrupted. So how can we avoid that? Listening for sound cues. Each hero's ability makes a sound when used. So before diving for that res or making a risky move, try listening out for that sound cue and keeping track of what has been used. Then when it's safe to do so, and when you've communicated with your team what you're about to do, then you should continue. It's good to learn the cooldown time for most heroes, as this will help you play Mercy more effectively. So with that, try playing other heroes to assist you in learning about their abilities. Even I will admit this is something I need to work on more as well. It's not easy, but practice makes perfect, and over time you will see yourself getting better at this too. My last little advice for you is to never feel ashamed for playing the character you want to play. There's often a lot of hate targeted towards Mercy players for either being considered a spectator or a no-skill character. I've dealt with enough Mercy hate of my own to say that it is dumb to hate on people for liking that character for that reason, whether it's a high-skill character or not. At the end of the day, it is just a game, and you should do what makes you happy, regardless of what people have to say. Don't listen to hate from people you wouldn't even accept advice from. I hope this video gave you some insight to learning more about Mercy, or helped remind you of some tips you've already learned. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.